We're going to start this video with a little bit of a different take. I know a lot of you guys out there don't really care too much about the Dragon Quest XI units, but we did get those 5 silver keys, and if maybe you did use them, maybe you haven't used them yet. Some of these characters, the new ones for the Dragon Quest characters, are actually pretty powerful. So if you do end up getting a couple of those silver keys, you might be here now thinking if you want to go for the 7-star. And there's a couple powerful characters in here. Let's get into it right off with the first one, Sylvando. Sylvando, my guy, I've heard a lot of talk about Sylvando. A lot of people seem to really like Sylvando. So let's get into Sylvando, his TMR, his super TMR, all of that good stuff. Sylvando's first TMR here is going to be the Chivalry skills, 40% HP and MP. Nothing really to talk about. It's whatever. It's a better version of Love from Rem, and Rem is one of the oldest units in the game. So not that big of a deal. I don't really like it. You can put it on a support or something. It doesn't have any spirit HP, or it does have HP. It doesn't have any spirit or defense, but it's just HP MP. It's kind of whatever. His STMR is the Shamshir of Light. It's a 162 attack light elemental one-handed weapon that gives you the effect of Shamshir of Light, which is going to give you a little bit of auto refresh per turn, 10% MP as well as 20% HP. Listen, this is a super TMR. It's underwhelming for a super TMR. If you get it, great. Don't super TMR it. Don't go in for it. It's whatever. Just don't. If you get it somehow with all your silver tickets and stuff, fantastic. If you don't, it's fine. So let's move into his kit here. Sylvando is going to remind you of like a supportive damage dealer. He has access to swords, harps, whips, and daggers. He's got a lot of armor selection. Anything in the game, I think he can wear here. You can wear all equipment in the game as of this video, the 21st of November, 2019, before they institute some crazy new equipment gear slot, something in 2025 or whatever. But he does have some cool aspects. So he's got the Bolting Strike Chaining Frame family. Hot Lick is going to be a fire Bolting Strike family. He's got some non-elemental ones as well. They're not really worth talking about. They're like poison damage. Nothing super crazy. He does have Tap Dance here, though, which is AoE Mirage stack for 3 turns to all allies in your party with 100% high tide. He does have a cooldown skill called Luminary that will also buff this skill if you use it after Luminary, which makes it AoE 2 stacks of Mirage for 3 turns and a 250% high tide buff for 3 turns as well. So very, very strong skill with Tap Dance. He has Swords Dance, which is going to give a little bit of LB gauge fill rate to your whole party, and 30% damage mitigation to the physical damage that your party takes for 4 turns as well. That's Amore is going to be Bolting Strike non-elemental. It has the chance to charm. He's got a lot of stuff that charms, but listen guys, no bosses can be charmed anymore. They're all irrelevant. Charm is more like a flavor thing. There's no power in charm anymore. So anytime you see a charm skill, it's kind of whatever, and that's Amore is going to be a little bit whatever here as well. He does have Whipping Joy, which is 40 MP recovery to your whole party and a 2000 HP barrier, so a little bit of support action there, which is primarily what he has. Now he's got 2 skills after that, Fuddle Dance and Hustle Dance. Fuddle Dance is going to be 130% attack and magic buff for 3 turns to your whole party, but if you use it after Luminary, it's going to be 180% attack and magic buff and 80% fire and wind resist buff. Kind of like similar but different. Hustle Dance is going to be a defense and spirit buff 130%. It's also going to recover 30% HP to your whole party. That's an actual effect. And then if you use it after Luminary, it's going to be 60% HP heal, 30% MP heal, and then 180% defense and spirit buff for 5 turns to your party, and an 80% earth and dark resist buff of 5 turns duration to the party as well. He does have dual cast. You can see the dual cast of skills if you're watching the video, not listen to the audio form. I know a lot of you guys out there do listen to the audio, and you guys are out there working hard, paying them bills, getting that bread. That's what I'm talking about. But his final 2 skills, Electrolyte and Let There Be Light. This is the stuff that people talked about the most. They saw that he had giant buffs, and this is how this works. You can see that these skills are not dual castable. All right, Let There Be Light, all this does, it costs 24 Limit Burst crystals, and it upgrades Electrolyte if used after this skill. It's not dual castable, so that's all you're doing that turn. You're using a skill that does nothing and then buffs the next skill you do. Electrolyte is an RNG skill. 75% of the time, it's going to be in 150% attack, defense, magic, and spirit buff for 3 turns to your whole party, and it's going to give them the 50% elemental resistance buff for 3 turns as well. Pretty strong. 25% of the time, though, it's going to be an attack, defense, magic, and spirit increase of 100%, and it's going to give you a 20% element resistance and peril on your whole party for 3 turns. Not good, not good. But if you use it after Let There Be Light, it's going to be a 200% attack, defense, magic, and spirit buff for 3 turns to your whole party, and an 80% all element resistance buff for 3 turns as well. This skill also costs 24 Limit Burst crystals. So you need to have 24 for Let There Be Light, and the next turn you need another 24 for Electrolyte. Okay, moving into his passives, he's got a lot of different passives here. Attack passives, HP passives with daggers and swords, and fire resist with dagger and sword. Natural dual wield, born to do this, spirit, MP passives, MP refresh. He's got 50% high tide with 1 limit burst crystal per turn, help him get that limit burst gauge up so he can do the Let There Be Light wombo combo. He's immune to charm, obviously. Most people who spam charm are also immune to charm. He's got more fire resist, more HP. He's immune to confusion. So he's got his priorities. No charm, no confusion. He knows exactly who he is in the world. Good for you, Sylvando. And his trust ability / super TMR activated trust reward activated ability. He's going to auto-cast Soldier's Smile at the start of the battle in every turn. It's going to be an effect we'll get into. And it gives him HP and MP 20%. He also gets Pet Power and then some defense, attack, in HP passives with 3 more limit burst gauge crystals per turn. So Soldier's Smile is going to give him 5% MP recovery per turn. And then it's going to auto-cast next turn a giant HP and MP refresh for your entire party, which is actually pretty strong. So what it does here is it's going to split a 59,994 times multiplier. HP heal multiplier. That's as a regen for the next 9,999 turns. Which ain't really actually that big of a deal. No, it's not that strong. You divide it by 10,000, so it's kind of like whatever. It's fine. He has an MP one as well, 1,499.85 multiplier split over 9,999 turns. If you have some sort of actual MP battery, right, in your team that puts MP refresh up, then it's probably gonna be better than this 9 times out of 10. Unless you're building this guy specifically for like max spirit or something, that's when maybe you'll see something there. But other than that, it's not that big of a deal. It's if you divide that by 100, it goes from a 1,500 mod to 150 times mod, and then it's another 100, so it's actually like a 15 times healing mod every turn. It's okay. You're gonna need some spirit, and he doesn't really want to be built for max spirit. Pet Power is gonna give him modifier increases to his bolting strike skills, but he doesn't really do that much damage as a character. He's kind of like Beowulf in the sense that he's like a supportive character that can kind of chain and do a little bit of damage. He does get triple cast from Pasta Troyes. I guess we'll go with Pasta Troyes. Is gonna be a skill that is unlocked by his limit burst, the pink pirouette. 25 times multiplier, 50% chance to charm things, doesn't matter, and it unlocks his triple cast for 4 turns. That's going to be Sylvando. I really don't like this character. If you end up with him, I wouldn't be, pressed to go and pull for another one. I'm talking about if you get 1 5-star from a silver ticket. He's kind of whatever. He's kind of cool. He doesn't really bring enough to the table for me. Now, next up, we're going to be talking about one of the best characters in the game period right now, Erik. Erik's got a fantastic TMR. His super TMR is really good. As a character, Erik he's the real husbando of the banner, not Sylvando. All right, Erik is. So TMR here, Dynamo Dagger. I like this a lot. It's got some upsides that are super serious. It's got some downsides. So it's 140 attack dagger. Upside here, it's a dagger. Great. It comes with the earth element, so that may be a plus or it may be a minus depending on what boss you're doing. But it also comes with the effect of Dynamo Dagger. It gives you 50% true dual wield when dual wielding. Now, this is a super TMR effect. Only a couple weapons in the game period have an effect like this on your weapon slot. This frees up your accessory slots. It frees up your materia slots. It frees up a bunch of different stuff that you can use this for a character. It also is an elemental weapon. So if you have an Earth Imperil, which Erik imperils Earth, obviously, but you can also use this for other characters. I pulled one Erik randomly from a silver ticket, and I was like, yeah, dude. So downsides, if you don't have an Earth Imperil in your party, not that great. If you don't have an Earth Imperil, or you go up against a boss that is immune to Earth, you're not going to be able to use Dynamo Dagger. Outside of that, though, you can make a party work around this, right? A lot of people out there still using C-Cart. C-Cart's absolutely fantastically amazing. He's got Earth Imperil, right? Lidinfina, Earth Imperil. So a lot of cool stuff out there. Dynamo Dagger is like nearly a super TMR tier TMR. And the 140 attack doesn't really harm it that much because you're true dual wielding, so you're going to be good. His STMR is the Knicker's Knack. It gives you 40% MP and attack if you're equipped with a dagger, a sword, or a throwing weapon. And these do stack, so you can wear 2 of them. 80% MP, 80% attack, and it's going to give you 100% high tide no matter what you're wearing. So very strong super TMR as well. Erik is actually absolutely insane. Now moving to his equipment selection, we're going to have daggers, swords, fist weapons, throwing weapons, obviously. Armor selection, no heavy armor, but he does have light armor clothing, hats, and shields. So no heavy armor, no helmets. Pretty typical for like a thief type character. Now moving into his kit here, we have a 60% defense and spirit break with power throw. He does have a 150% high tide buff for your whole party. Rebel Rouser is going to be an 80% earth and peril, but you're not going to use that one. He's got a stronger one that actually chains and does damage. So don't worry about that one too much. He has Dragon Slash to give himself a magic in physical killer buff against dragons by 50%. Then we have Mountain Mover, which is going to be an 80% earth and peril. That's bolting strike frames to all enemies there. So he's bolting strike. This one does more damage. Probably what you're going to be using here instead of a Rebel Rouser there. He has Tumouring, which isn't a skill you're really going to use. It's a stacking over time, increased multiplier. It goes up to 16.5 times multiplier. He gets much, much stronger, harder hitting attacks than Tumouring. Ridge Razor is going to be a single target bolting strike frame chain skill. It's going to be 120% in peril. So if you're going for a single target in peril, Ridge Razor is where you're going 120%. So good. So good. Now, repeat performance is going to be his dual cast, and then his main go-to damage dealing skill is going to be double Rebel Rouser. So it's going to be earth locked, so you have to be doing earth damage. So if the boss is immune to earth, it's kind of a little bit of a downside here, but this is his main damage dealing skill, and it looks pretty weak. 1.0 multiplier, ignore 50% defense, followed by a 3.0 multiplier, ignore 50% defense, bolting strike frame family. But this skill is going to get buffed to the sky. All right, so the first way we're going to buff it is with Divide. Divide is a 5-turn cooldown available on turn 1. It gives you a 250% attack buff for 4 turns, 100% attack break resist for 4 turns. It's going to give you a 2 times multiplier increase to double Rebel Rouser, and Fatal Flash is going to give you a 10 times, or not 10 times, but a 10 limit burst gauge crystal increase to your limit burst. What is Fatal Flash? Fatal Flash is his final skill. It's going to be a 2-turn cooldown available as soon as turn 2. You can't start with it, but the turn afterwards you can. It's going to be a 65% defense break, so if you don't have a very strong defense break, that's there. It's kind of whatever. But it's a 2 times multiplier, ignore 50% defense, followed by an 8.0 multiplier, ignore 50% defense. And this skill is also going to get some significant buffs to make it worth using, and it's going to be pretty powerful, as you know I like to say, guys. So he has built-in dual sword mastery. He's got 100% confusion resistance, attack and MP plus 30%, defense and HP plus 30%, 15% physical dodge, 40% attack when equipped with a dagger, 30% defense in spirit, 40% wind and earth resistance, 30% attack and magic when equipped with clothing, 50% true dual wield, and another 25% physical dodge. So he's got 40% physical dodge in total. He does have the 6 times multiplier when dual wielding, so he's got the dual wield mastery. Very awesome there. And then his TMR/Super TMR Trust Ability activated reward is Finding Forgiveness, attack plus 40%, HP plus 40%, limit burst gauge plus 4. His dagger is really good anyway, so you're probably gonna have this. You don't need to have this on, but 40% attack, 40% HP, and his TMR is already really good, so you're gonna throw that on there. You're gonna get that extra 50% true dual wield from his TMR, so that's gonna be great. Pet Power, 30% attack, 30% spirit, autocast Pet Power at the start of the battle. This is going to be amazing for him. If you've been following the DQ units, this buffs up their multipliers, and it's going to buff up his multipliers. MP plus 20%, and then Master Dueler, 50% more true dual wield, and autos casts Master Dueler at the start of the battle. So he has passively 100% true dual wield. If you want to go with 2 of his own daggers, that's going to give you the other 100% true dual wield. Because if you have a 7-star form, you can get 2 of his TMR. That could be an option for you. You could use 1 of his TMR, then 1 accessory, whatever it is that you want to do. Pet Power here, after 3 turns, it's going to give you a 2 times multiplier to double Rebel Rouser in Fatal Flash. So it's very strong non-cooldown skill and it's very strong cooldown skill. Master Dueler is going to auto cast after 3 turns, and is going to give you a 3.0 multiplier increase to double Rebel Rouser and Fatal Flash. And since these are 2 different skills, they will stack. So after 3 turns of starting the fight, you're going to get a 5 times mod for doing nothing but staying alive, and this buff will not fall off ever unless you die, and if you do die and get re-raised, it's going to auto cast again 3 turns later. So it's going to be a 5 times permanent modifier after turn 3. Very, very strong. Very, very good. My goodness. We'll get into it though. Now, Critical Calm here at 7-star. Max level or base level. When you use it, it's going to give an additional 3.0 multiplier increase for 5 turns to double Rebel Rouser in Fatal Flash. So we have 3 from the Limit Burst, 3 from Master Dueler for 6, 7, 8 from Pet Power. 8 multiplier increase so far. So We also have Divide for 10 times multiplier increase. Fatal Flash, the first hit goes from 2.0 to 12, ignore 50% defense, 24 multiplier. The final hit goes from 8 to 18, ignore 50%, 36 multiplier. Put those together, 60 times multiplier on Fatal Flash. Very strong, very strong. That's his cooldown skill though, so you know, can't use it all the time, but it is available every 2 turns though, so you're gonna be able to Fatal Flash with that strong Fatal Flash, do some more damage, Fatal Flash again. Now, double Rubber Rouser, 10 times mod increase here. 1.0 ignore 50% goes to 11.0 ignore 50%. That's 22 times multiplier. 3.0 ignore 50% goes to 13 ignore 50%. 26 times multiplier. You see what we're saying here? He's very, very strong. Double Rubber Rouser, Fatal Flash, back and forth, 120% Earth and Peril. Incredibly powerful character. So if you're looking for a strong character, you know, you don't have a true dual wielder or anything, Erik's going to be the one that you're going to want to go on, especially if you got him for free for one of the silver tickets. Go in there. If you don't have any sort of true dual wield anything, his only weakness is that if the enemy is immune to Earth, you're not really going to be able to use him as efficiently because his attacks are going to be very, very Earth focused due to his TMR and due to double Rubber Rouser. If you don't have access to being able to do Earth damage, he's not going to be able to do double Rubber Rouser because it's always Earth no matter what. You're gonna have to take his TMR off, and you're gonna have to go to Ridge or Toomerang. Toomerang is gonna be a 16.5 multiplier, and as you saw, he gets no multiplier increases to Toomerang, but you'll be able to go Toomerang Fatal Flash, Toomerang Fatal Flash, Toomerang Fatal Flash, and rotate your turns that way. So very strong character. Only one weakness, which is Earth damage. If you're looking for a very strong true dual wielder, Erik is probably going to be one of the best, if not the best, in the game right now. So if you got one for free, you've got some Lapis to spare, you don't really have anything waiting in the wins. I know we're getting the Blackfriar units. He's going to be a character you can just go ahead, pick up with that one last golden key, and that's going to be a plus to the golden key system. Only if you get lucky at the start would I go, and I wouldn't spend 50k for Erik or anything like that. There's too many other characters going around, but 25k for an insane TMR that you use on other characters, possibly as well as just getting Erik. Very strong, very strong. Now, Jade is going to be the next one here. We're going to be going over. Her TMR is Allure Skills. It's a TMR, okay? It's a TMR. 40% attack and a 20% chance to counter physical attacks with Allure. And it's going to give you 20% additional attack if you have clothes on. So 60% attack as long as you're wearing clothing. And then Allure is going to be kind of cool. It gives you a chance to counter with Allure. And it's going to be a 60% attack and 60% magic break for 2 turns to an enemy. And 30% chance to charm. Charm, like we said, irrelevant. 60% attack and magic break, not the best. Still pretty good, but definitely not worth going after Jade for or anything, or Prism Moogling. Just leave it alone. Her STMR is the Split Pot Poker. It's going to be 180 attack, 2-handed spear, and it's going to have the Split Pot Pump, which is going to give you 25% killer against beast, birds, and machina monsters. I don't like this thing. It's kind of whatever. I'm sure, you know, if you need a non-elemental 180 attack, 2-handed spear, this is going to be the one that you're going to want to go for, but it's nothing special. It's got 25% killers. That's really all there is to say about it. Jade has fist weapons she can equip and spears that she can equip. So notably, we have one really good 2-handed fist weapon she can get for free, which is going to be the Aion Reborn Fist. But moving into her skills here, she has a lot of BS skills in more than one way. Like BS isn't like skills she's not going to really use, but she is primarily the Bolting Strike Chaining Frame family. She does Harvest Moon and Can Opener, which is going to give her 75% bird or machina killer for 4 turns, depending on which one you use there. And then she's got Ice, Lightning, and Fire Bolting Strike Chaining Frame skills that also imbue her with either Ice, Lightning, or Fire, depending on which one you want to use there. Then she's got Multi-Feet and Multi-Thrust. So Multi-Feet is going to be her Divine Ruination Chaining Frame damage dealing skill, the go-to one. But it's Divine Ruination and it's weaker than Multi-Hit Thrust, which is Bolting Strike. So Multi-Hit Thrust is going to be her most go-to damage dealing skill. It doesn't have any ignore defense on it, but it is broken up into 2 different parts. It's going to be a 2.0 at the first 8 hits, then a 6.0 on the final and 9th hit there. And this is going to give you a 1.0 multiplier increase to a multi-hit thrust to the caster for 2 turns. So it's going to immediately start buffing itself up. Even the same turn, right? You're dual casting this. You go in there, multi-hit thrust. Since you've used it, the next one gets the 1.0 multiplier increase. So pretty nice little thing there. She does have dual cast. As you can see, we have the highlighted skills highlighted for you. Moving into her first cooldown skill, first 7-star skill is going to be Revamp, 4-turn cooldown, available on turn 1, 200% attack buff, so not 250, 200. She's going to be immune to all stat breaks, and she's going to get a 2.0 multiplier increase to Lightning Thrust, Multi-Hit Thrust, Multi-Feet, and Pink Typhoon for 2 turns. And it's going to give her Princess Turbo Triple for 4 turns as well, which is going to be her triple cast. Pink Tornado is not available until turn 3. It's one of her stronger hitting skills that you'll use. It's got a 6.0 multiplier followed by a 14.5 multiplier. And then it's got a 50% chance to charm because like that actually matters. It doesn't, but it's still there. And then she's going to have access to Pink Typhoon. 6.2 multiplier. You're never going to use the skill because it does low damage, and all it does is has a 40% chance, 30% chance to charm. Throw that skill away. Thank you. Well, her final skill is Lightning Storm. Not available until turn 3, but it's a 3.0 multiplier with ignore 50% defense. Then it's followed by a 7.25 multiplier, ignore 50% defense, and then it's going to give you Lightning Storm Supreme to cast the following turn. And this skill does get a couple of multiplier increases, so this is going to be one of her hardest hitting skills, and then Lightning Storm Supreme is going to be one of her hardest hitting skills. So you're going to have Lightning Storm Supreme, and then Multi-Hit Thrust for her strongest skills, all of them Bolting Strike, all of them very powerful. Moving to her passives here, we have Spear skills. If you're equipped with a Spear, she gets 30% defense, which is very important. She gets the attack and HP from this passive all the time. She's also immune to paralysis. MP recovery 5%. She gets 30% spirit when equipped with a fist weapon. Aigeon Reborn's fist is gone. It's coming in. She's also a 30% wind resistance, 20% MP recovery. 20% defense. She's immune to charm, 3% MP recovery per turn, 20% HP. Or Spirit and MP, excuse me, immune to confusion, 100% true double hand, 100% high tide, 50% attack, 30% HP, 20% wind resistance. If you have her TMR equipped, 40% attack, 20% HP, 20% MP, 50% true double hand, and auto casts the Golden Tiara at the start of the battle. She also has the pet power mechanic, 20% attack, defense, and spirit, plus 30%, and she gets some multiplier increases, lightning thrust, multi-hit thrust, multi-hit feet. Nothing crazy though. Now Golden Tiara is going to give her Princess Triple Power Ranger Neo Transformers on turn 1 right away, heading out to Taco Bell real quick to go pick up that Gordita Crunch with her Golden Tiara. Now after that though, you have to re-unlock it for 4 turns with her cooldown skill, but you're going to have it on turn 1. Pet Power is going to give her a 1.0 multiplier increase to her multi-hit skill after 1 turn, and then after 5 turns, a 2.0 multiplier increase to multi-feet and multi-thrust after 5 turns. So 2 turns for the 1.0, 5 turns for the 2.0. Nothing super insane there. Her limit burst is called the Sinfully Sexy Beam. I'm gonna get, well, you know what? I'm safe from Copa now. Sinfully Sexy Beam. This definitely isn't made for children. Oh, it's got fantasy elements. I'm getting fined $42,530. Oh, never mind. All right, 300% attack buff for herself for 3 turns. 35 times multiplier, 100% charm infliction, which is actually 0 because you can't inflict charm on anything that matters anyways. Then a 3.0 multiplier increase to her skill. So Jade, she's okay. I'd say she's probably the 3rd out of these 4 characters. Sylvando's definitely, I don't like Sylvando at all. I don't think he's good at all. In 9 times out of 10 circumstances. Jade is probably the 3rd weakest. Erik's just definitely the best, way too strong. And then last but not least is going to be Rob at 2nd place, and he's Elena 2.0. But Jade, she's got some cool stuff. Her multipliers get up there over time. She's a little bit clunky though, is what I don't like about her. You have to do this whole like revamp and then do some stuff, and then turn 3 you want to like Lightning Storm and Pink Tornado, and then you want a Bolting Strikes. You got to fit your Limit Burst in there, and then you need to use Lightning Storm Supreme. A little bit too clunky, whereas Erik's just like, I'm going to use skills. I'm going to do so much damage. I'm just going to use my skills. Rob is kind of the same way. Rob, whatever his name is. His TMR is the Meteorite Bracer. Gives you a 40 attack, 40 magic, and 100% limit burst gauge fill rate with 100% high tide there, and as an accessory. Don't really like this thing, but you're going to be wearing it on Rob, whatever, Geodude Trainer, whatever you want to call him. You're going to be wearing this to proc his trust ability. His super TMR is also the Godbird Scepter. If you have access to this, you're going to be wearing this instead of his accessory. It's the most bland super TMR I think I've seen in the game. 131 attack, 162 magic rod. That's it. Plain Jane, dude. Talk about being vanilla. That is the most vanilla super TMR I think I've ever seen. Weapon selection, not actually that good for Rab here because he's a hybrid damage dealer. He's got rods, fist weapons, and staves. So there's a fist weapon. You have Malphase's fist weapon he can use, and then there's his rod, and then I think there's a rod that's got like 60 something attack on it that he could use. So you're kind of looking forward to maybe like upgrading from Malphase to Rob if you're looking at that. But super sadly, he's actually going to be better out true double hand than true dual wield, even though he can true dual wield, due to the fact that, guess what? He does not have true dual wield mastery, but he is ready for some true double hand action. So he's got a 75% magic in physical killer increase to himself with bezel freeze, whatever, dude. He's got propeller blade. He's got a wind imbue with propeller blade, a lightning imbue with bluster blade, and a dark imbue with bleak blade. So he's going to be dark, lightning, and wind focused. He has Zing Stick, which can fully revive a KO'd ally. He's got some MP recovery for your whole party at 90 per cast, which is dual castable. And then we move into the first sort of iteration of you'll know what he's doing as a damage dealer. He's got Hard Claw, which is going to be a 20.0 multiplier overall, 5.0 on the first 8 hits, 15 on the last. Remember, it's hybrid damage, so the multiplier is going to be higher than a lot of the other characters in the game because it uses both your stats, which makes it weaker than what it really looks like. And then it unlocks a 4.0 multiplier increase for Wild Animal for 1 turn to the caster, and it's going to be the Bolting Strike Chaining Frame family. Now, for some more, what do I want to say? Supportive skills. He has a Wind, a Lightning, and Dark Imbue skill for an ally as well. So you can kind of imbue someone else if you want to. He has his own imbues. You can imbue other people as well. He's got multi-heal, which is a little bit of HP heal. It's like not that strong. I mean, it's going to be fine, but you're not building this guy for spirit, so it's kind of whatever. 2-timer is his native dual cast. Wild Animal here is going to be the same thing as the previous skill. It's going to be a 5.0 multiplier for the first 8 hits and a 15.0 multiplier on that last hit. But this skill is going to get a lot of multiplier increases. I think it eventually ends up to be like a 65 times multiplier without much effort. And that's higher than Elena's Bolting Strike frame skill, which is Elena's strongest skill as well. So let's get into the rest of his kit here. His 6-star kit's pretty lackluster. Wild Animal doesn't even unlock till 7-star. Let's get into the rest of his kit here. So we have Caster Sugar, which is going to be a 200% attack and magic buff for 3 turns to the caster, 300 MP over 5 turns to the caster. It's going to be a 3.0 multiplier increase to that Wild Animal and Hard Claw. It's going to unlock his triple cast for 6 turns as well. Now, we have 3 follow-up skills, Hand of God, Air Razor, and Kazamel. These skills all do pretty much relatively the same thing. They're all Bolting Strike Chain Frame families. All right. They all have pretty much the same multiplier here for the most part. Air Razor, for some reason, is weaker. The other two are 24 and then 40. Air Razor's 18 and 36. I don't know why it's that much weaker. I don't know. I don't know why it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times multiplier weaker, but who knows? But they are all available on turn 3. They all do a 3-turn cooldown. They all imperil by their own respective element, lightning, wind, and dark, and they all do their own respective damage, lightning, wind, and dark. So you can triple cast these all on turn 3 if you want. The downside is that probably isn't super likely to happen. You need a boss that is not immune to lightning damage, dark damage, and wind damage to get all 3 of these skills off. Maybe 1 of those and 2 of those, yeah, for sure. All 3 of them, probably not super likely in most encounters to be able to do lightning, wind, and dark damage at your own leisure, at your own discretion. All 3, you're going to run into some issues there, so you're going to probably get like 2 or 1 to 2 of these off in any given fight. Now, Infinite Wisdom's his last skill. Attack and magic buff 250% for 6 turns to the caster. 360 MP split over 3 turns. A 5 times multiplier increase to Wild Animal. Enable skill for 4 turns. This is where he really starts taking off as a character. 4-timer in Solar Flare. So he cannot use this skill until turn 6 though. But he gets Quad Cast. Quad Cast Hybrid Damage Dealer is what we're looking at here with Rob, the old man, old timer, 4-timer. Now he does get 100% true double hand attack, 100% true double hand magic, 30% magic and MP. He does get dual wield as well, but like I said, no dual wield mastery, so no 6 times multiplier cap. But he does get a lot of true double hand and a lot of true dual wield. MP 5 per turn, 5%. 50% attack and magic when dual wielding. Attack and HP plus 30%, defense and spirit 20%, confusion resistance, attack plus 50%, HP plus 20%, magic plus 50%, MP plus 20%, attack and magic 20%, 50% true double hand attack, 50% true double hand magic, 50% attack and magic when dual wielding as well. So that's going to bring him up to 100% attack and magic, true dual wield, 150% attack and magic, true double hand. His TMR or super teamwork is going to give him 60% MP, or 60% magic, excuse me, and 40% MP, and then unlocks Soul of the Stage to autocast every turn. He also has the pet power mechanic and 20% defense, and then his last passive is 60% attack, 40% spirit, and he's going to be immune to petrify. So he's got triple cast, he's got quad cast. Soul of the Sage is the thing that casts every turn, 40 MP recovery to your whole party, including himself. That's very powerful, especially if you're using like Sylvie as one of your supports. That's going to be Sylvie's 20 every turn, and then his 40. So that's going to be like 60 every turn at the start of your turn. Very powerful. Then if you have like an MP refresh on top of that, you're going to be getting back hundreds of MP every turn there. Solar Flare, his final unlock skill, it is actually Stardust Ray. AoE Stardust Ray, 16 times multiplier on the first 9 hits, 40 times on that final hit. So it's going to be a 56 times multiplier Stardust Ray skill. Very strong skill to use if you want to. Now, Pet Power here, after the 3 turns, is going to autocast a 4.0 multiplier increase. After 5 turns, it's going to autocast an 8.0 multiplier increase, which you have to remind yourself, he's kind of got some ramping. He does damage, but he does even more damage the longer the fight goes on. After turn 6 is when he pops off Quadcast. So he gets Quadcast on 6. By the time turn 6 rolls around, you're going to have this 8.0 multiplier increase from Pet Power. His Limit Burst here as well actually has a pretty decent multiplier. Pearly Gates, Wind Hybrid damage, 89 times multiplier to all enemies, and it's a 100% Lightning, Wind, and Dark and Peril for 5 turns to all enemies, and it's going to give him a 200% Reaper Killer for 6 turns as well. Now let's add up all of this stuff for his multipliers to Wild Animal. That's the most important skill to look at. So we have 8.0 from Pet Power after 5 turns. It's pretty powerful there. Pet Power, powerful. I think they made these units for me, dude. I say power all the time. Like, excuse me. 5.0 from Infinite Wisdom, so that's going to be 13. 15. 16. 16 times mod from Caster Sugar. 17, 18, 19, 20 times multiplier increase to his skill, Wild Animal. So, and this applies to both parts. So that 5.0 goes to a 25, that 15 goes to a 35, 60 times multiplier there on Wild Animal when maxed buffed up. 60 times multiplier, pretty strong. It's only a little bit over like the 50-ish, 52 you can get on Elena, but he also gets Quadracast. So keep that in mind as well. Elena has triple cast. Now, I'm not saying he's just always better than Elena. Elena's got a lot of supportive options he doesn't do. Elena has a very simple rotation as well. Not a lot of Elena's skills are locked into elemental damage. Elena's got a very thing. You fill a Limit Burst, use a Limit Burst, pop off some damage. Fill a Limit Burst, automatically use a Limit Burst, pop off some damage. Whereas this guy, he's got to wait till turn 6, and then he starts popping off his damage. But he's still very, very strong. And he's going to be a little bit harder to build because he doesn't really have a good weapon. He wants to be true double hand hybrid, and there's not really a true double hand hybrid rod or true double hand hybrid fist weapon. But I would have to imagine that if you're going to build him true double hand, which is what you're going to want to do due to the fact that weapon variant still applies to the physical portion, that's very, very strong. You're going to probably just put Aegon's Fist on him, put on the Aegon Fist, and then build him hybrid. Try to max out your attack, then max out your magic afterwards. In both ways with true double hand attack and magic. Just eat the loss of them not having magic on your weapon, and just go for it from there. That's probably what you're going to want to do with that. You also might be able to do an equip bow build with him, possibly. That might be better due to the fact that we have that new bow. I think it's two-handed from Bloody Moon, which could be a thing. So I haven't really tried to math him out, but those would probably be his 2 best options. If you have the gear for him up there, you need 150% more true double hand attack and magic. And then you want to get some more raw attack and magic on him, and he's going to be absolutely insane. So Rob is nutty. Erik is insane. Jade's pretty okay, right? She gets up to like the 25, 26 multiplier range, but Erik's up there, you know, popping off 60 times multiplier, cooldown skills, whatever, full physical, and Rob's up here quad casting, 60 times multiplier, hybrid skills, true double hand with 1.5 times multiplier variants, ranged weapons. So very strong characters. Sylvando, though, no. But Erik and Rob, listen, if you're looking for strong characters, I almost never in the 7-star era go for it at the end of a banner review. But if you've gotten, you know, one of the characters, Rob or Erik, and you look at your gear, use FFBE equip to see how you can build them up. Especially for Rob, he's a little bit harder to build, but Erik isn't really that hard to build because he kind of builds himself with his own TMRs. If you're looking for a strong chaining character, you don't have anything crazy down the road that you want to go and get. I know the Black Friday stuff's coming out, and I know a lot of you guys are really liking that. Erik's really, really strong for right now. If you've been waiting, and you want to pull the trigger, go spend 25K, get the second one. That'd be incredibly powerful. If you want to wait, though, you want to see what Zahn does, you're looking for Eileen and stuff, or not Eileen, but you know, the Black Friday units, Zyrus and stuff. then you know what? Stay with what you want, right? Stay with what you want. Put the DQ 11 banner down. Don't do it. If that's what you want, you know what you want. Go for that instead. Have fun with the game. But if you're looking for something that'll be really good for you, you're saying, "How I want a unit that's strong. I need to be able to beat them down." Then if you have one of them already from the silver tickets, go get the other one. But outside of that, guys, if you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead, hit that subscription button, notifications bells turned on. We're also going to be going over that Full Metal Alchemist banner later today. I'll put that up as well. Recording both of these at the same time, and I'm going to process them and all that good stuff. But I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for the community, the Patreons, all you guys out there who leave comments. You all are fantastic people, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys.